What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com coming to you for Tuesday, October the 22nd. It's going to be a good day. It is officially here, the start of NBA season. So happy basketball season, everyone. Small slate of games today. We got 2 games on the board, a few games on the board tomorrow. So it's going to be slow going for the first couple of days until we actually get everyone their first game in. And then by the end of the weekend, we'll be rocking and rolling every single day in the NBA from here until the summertime. So I am excited. I'm ecstatic. I think a lot of good things happen in the NBA offseason, which I'll be the first to tell you. The NBA, the things that they've done over the past, hell, 20 years have not been in favor of the sport, in favor of the spectators, the fans, and especially what they've done, let's just say in the last 5, 6 years, building these super teams like Golden State Warriors, what they tried to do with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and now what a lot of people think that they're trying to do with the LA Lakers has been good for the sport, and I agree. I don't think that it's been good for the sport. To go out there and build a team that is truly, truly unstoppable and just cannot be beaten. And, people say that they're trying to do it in the NFL. The difference is, that super team obviously would be the Patriots. And yes, they're playing in the Super Bowl every year. But look what happens. They've been beat by the Eagles. They've been put out and not gone to the Super Bowl, hence a few years back when it was Denver and Carolina. They could have very well gotten beaten last year by LA. It was a game. Was LA the better team? No. That's why I didn't, that's why I didn't take LA, and that's why I didn't take Kansas City in the semifinals of the playoffs and in the divisional championships, because Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were and still are the absolute best team in football. I had a couple of people ask me, well, what's your take on the 49ers? I'll be honest with you. The 49ers, I do think I think it's a little bit all smoke and mirrors, to be honest with you. I think that their test to show that they were as good as their record says they are should have come with the easiest and least daunting of tasks this past week against the Redskins, and they didn't do it. So either way, I'm excited. I think things went on in the offseason to make teams that weren't competitive, to make teams that were competitive a little bit more competitive, and show that good teams are now going to the rebuilding and back to the drawing board because they just didn't have what it took to cross that threshold from good to great. So we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff in the NBA this year. It's going to make for a fun year. It's going to make for a lot of money to be made as long as we put in the work. So I'm excited. What do we have? Okay, an announcement. I have created a new show that I want to do once a week. We're going to do kind of a test run on it, and it's going to be called Q&A Tuesday. I have been getting a lot of questions via email about, who am I? My background. Where did I come from? How I got into this industry. And I've said it a lot of times, and I've kind of given my story, but basically just like the cliff notes and the meat and potatoes of everything, I haven't really gotten into a deep dive because, to be honest with you, I just really didn't think anybody cared. It's like, hey, give me winners and let's move on. But I've gotten a lot of questions. Well, instead of individually calling each person or trying to type it into an hour-long email, I figured the easiest way to do it is address it on video. So I've gotten a lot of questions about that. I'm starting to get a lot more questions about money management, bankroll management, finance, business, all these things that incorporate into this wonderful industry that we're in. And those are questions that I really want to answer. So what I've decided to do is I'm willing to take the time, at a time that I truly don't have, to do a show once a week called Q&A Tuesday that would last anywhere from 30 minutes to about an hour and 15 minutes, depending on the questions. It'll be up to you guys on what questions that I ask. Now, here's the kicker. I will not be breaking down games or giving out free predictions on this show. This show is strictly to help people in other aspects of this industry besides just giving you a game to play. That's what these free play videos are for. That's what the 45-minute to hour-long live shows that I do 2 to 3 times a week are for. That's for the stuff that I put on social media. That's what that's for. We do enough of that. This is to talk about money management, bankroll management, learning how to make your money work for you, not only in this industry, but into others. Um, and to really get a deep dive into things that people do not spend enough time focusing on. They're only focusing on their next win when they need to be focusing on how to leverage losses and how to not only let losses motivate them instead of bring them down and give them a finger to point or something like that, but to use that loss as a motivation to go out there, keep grinding, keep winning, and understanding that sometimes you can go out there and lose more games than you win in this short period of time, but still make money. And as long as you're turning profit, you're doing everything the correct way. Whether you are doing it yourself, whether you are doing it with a friend or a partner, or you have a consultant, myself or someone else in the industry, as long as they're providing you with that information and you're following it and it's working and it's making you money, then that's great. So but if you want to specifically talk about a team, about what I think about, maybe break down whether I think a team is overvalued, undervalued, where I think a team may end up in a few weeks, a certain sport, that I will talk about. But I'm not going to talk about a specific game unless we're going to recap a specific game and something that I haven't really had a chance to recap and what you guys want my opinion on. So this is what I want you to do. I already have a couple of questions that I'm going to do on this little pilot episode, and even though it's going to come every Tuesday, I'm going to actually, excuse me. I actually want to get a handful of more questions so that I can try to do at least 4 to 5 questions on this first test run. And so what I want you guys to do is you can send me an email, comment, whatever you want, questions that you want answered. And like I said, don't ask me who I think is going to win or who I think is going to cover this spread. I will skip right over it. That's for free play videos, and that's for the live shows. This is strictly going to be for things that can help you guys and answer questions that you have outside of specific games. So, give me that. I'll do a test run over the next couple of days, post it. If we get good feedback and success, I'll commit to doing it every week, every Tuesday. Probably be something that I record about 5 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, and then after the free play video has been up for long enough for people to see it, I'll post it. That way you have something to watch that afternoon, that evening, that night, the next morning, things like that. And I think that's it. Oh, and I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. I'm not expecting everyone to. But guys, listen, the first 6 months after I started this channel, every single day I preached and promoted and crammed positivity down people's throat. And I'm just as guilty as anyone else of getting away from that. Now, I'm not negative on this channel, and I don't try to bring anyone down, but I've gotten away from trying to preach positivity. I'm going to get back to that. And for the people that want to be negative and just, do something, try to get a rise out of it because they're miserable humans that have nothing better to do with their lives, and that's why they will always be beaten, broke, and losers, I'll just start blocking people left and right, and that way that's one less person that I have to deal with in my life, one less bit of negativity, and that's one less bit of negativity you guys have to see when you come to this channel. So, drop a comment, send me an email, chase@chasewins.com. Let's get this rolling, guys. Okay, enough ranting there. Specials. You can go right now, get the early bird specials for basketball, college, or NBA, or the combo pass. It's up on the website. That I will run for the next couple of days as a kind of a welcome to basketball season for NBA. College starts in a couple of weeks. But I'm going to do something for the next 24 hours. You're going to see that each season is over $1,000. A combo pass right now, early bird, is $8.99, $500 a piece for the season. And that's the early bird special, which is a great deal. But what I'm going to do is for the first 10 people that email me and say, I want it, I'm going to give you NBA and NCAA basketball with postseason included, championships and all, for $500 for everything. Not $500 a piece, $500 for everything. Every premium and daily top play from right now until, through March Madness, through the NBA Finals, everything. You're going to get it all. First 10 people, shoot me an email, we'll make it happen. But I'll be honest with you, if you shoot me an email, be ready, because if you don't immediately, because if I respond back to you, I'm like, all right, let's make it happen. And you're like, well, let me think about it. I'm moving on to the next person, because at the end of today, or before I go to bed tonight, if I haven't signed up 10 people because of it, I'm not going to worry about doing it tomorrow. No harm, no foul for me. But I'm trying to get that done as quickly as possible to move on. And then, of course, the early bird, if you do not end up being one of those, 10 people, you still can buy the early bird. That'll be up for a few days. Okay, so that's really it. Congratulations to the play of the year, NCAA. We had the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It was minus 28. I told all of my players to buy it down to 27.5 as we would in that situation on any game. Didn't need it. They won by 35. So the NCAA play of the year was a beautiful success. Congratulations to everyone that jumped on. It was a huge winner. And last week was fantastic. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, premium. You look at every day, premium money made. Top play money every single day. Top play winners all week, and then we get into Saturday. Obviously, we had that big top play win, so our big top play was a nice, easy win. Our daily top play was on the Houston Cougars, which I think was my. I don't want to. I would say, yeah, it's probably my biggest surprise. It's more of a surprise to me than Wisconsin. That is something that did not surprise me, was Wisconsin losing, and I actually didn't think Wisconsin would cover. But I didn't have any true reason to back it other than a hunch, which is not enough for me to put my money on. But we lost that. The free play on Missouri, which I told you, which was crazy. What does that say? Is Vanderbilt that bad, or is UNLV that good? I don't know. I think this was a true. I don't know. Maybe I walked into a trap, but I think that was a true. A team just walking in thinking the game was over before it started. You just can't do that in the Southeastern Conference. So the free play ended up losing. We ended up losing that, but then we came back with Florida, and they took care of business over South Carolina. We laid 4.5 with them. They took care of business late because it was a back-and-forth game for the first half, really the first three quarters, and then in the fourth, Florida blew it wide open offensively and defensively and took care of business there. And then we get into the MLB. We had the Astros. They took care of business there. Thing is, the Yankees would have won that game had it not been in the fourth inning. I was sitting there, and I was actually sitting at a restaurant, and there was a Yankees fan beside me watching it, and he's sitting there looking up, and he's like, oh, that was a strike. That was a strike. And I'm sitting there looking at the guy. I said, are we watching the same thing? Because that was not. And I said, I'm telling you right now, this guy should intentionally walk Alex Bregman. He's like, well, he's not going to do it because there's a man on base already. You don't want two men on base with the Astros. And I said, I don't care if no men are on base, or if the bases are, if there's already two men on base and you're getting ready to load the bases. You have two outs, but who I've said all year, people have asked me, who do I think should be the American League MVP? Alex Bregman. I think that he is the most dangerous American League player that can step to the plate at any given time. I said, you don't flirt with Alex Bregman. I said, you're better off taking the risk, putting him on base, not letting him swing that bat, and taking your chances with the next guy. I said, because if he flirts with him and puts it anywhere where Alex can hit it, I said, Alex is going to earn that hit or worse. The very next pitch, Alex bombs one out of there. I said, I told you. You don't flirt with Alex Bregman just because you think you can get him out if you try to paint the corners. He don't give a shit where you're doing it. It's Alex Bregman. Had it not been for that, I truly believe the Yankees could have won that game and forced a Game 7, but it is fine. I'm glad they did not, and we went out there and won yet another MLB postseason game. Houston Astros, they're going to the World Series, so now I'm 4 wins away from my preseason prediction coming true of the Houston Astros being world champions again. So obviously you guys know who I'm pulling for, but that does not mean that I will not put my money where my mouth is, potentially even hedge my World Series bet, depending on what happens in games 1 and 2, because it would not surprise me if Washington got at least one win in this series. So, we'll probably have a play in the World Series tonight. We'll definitely have 1 to 2 NHL plays. We will not have an official NBA play, but I'm going to give you something that, something to think about as a free lean. But anyway, we get into that. Overall, if you played the game of the year, you probably turned a profit on Saturday, or you should have turned a profit on Saturday. If not, you would have lost a little bit, because we were, 1-2 in college football. We come back, we win the MLB, but then we actually we lost a little bit in the NHL, which is rare. Now Sunday was not a good day. Came out, we had a nice win on the Indianapolis Colts. We had a nice win on the LA Rams. We actually took a shot with the Bengals plus 4.5. The Bengals should have covered that. Not only should they have covered it, they should have won it. They shot themselves in the foot at the end of the game. So that is what it is. We can't do anything about them shooting themselves in the foot. And I'll be honest with you, I like the New York Giants on Sunday. And I think if they could redo that first quarter over again where they gave up the interception, I really think there would have been a different outcome in that game. Because I do think that New York was the better team. I still think that Arizona is a little bit smoke and mirrors, kind of like San Francisco is. And it's just been kind of like everything's fallen into place for them. But we did that. And then we had an overplay that we dropped, which was on the LA Rams. And then we actually had our first true, like, overall losing day in hockey. It wasn't we just lost a little bit of money. We lost. We had 2 plays. We dropped them. So it's going to happen. I mean, we're still sitting at 75% on the season. We're 5-1 in top plays. You know, you're not going to find anybody doing that. So we just got to take it. But Sunday was not a good day. Here's a funny story. I had a customer that's bought many, many packages from me in the past, was with me all last week because he does buy short term. But a week here, a week there, whatever. And he was with me all last week, Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. So he goes out there, should have made a pile of money, like more, just absolutely annihilated his book Monday through Friday. He did play the game of the year on Saturday, so Saturday should have been kind of like a day overall if you bet correctly. And then on Sunday, yeah, it would have been a losing day, but the grand scheme of things, you would have still, your bookie would have hated you at the end of the week because he'd owed you a ton of money. So either he was having a bad day or he went out there and way stepped out and overstepped his means and went against what I say on Sunday, because he told me on Sunday night, wow, you really hit rock bottom on plays. The amount of losses are unreal. And I sent an email back. I said, is this a joke? Because there's no way you lost money this week. There's no way you didn't make great money this week. Unless you didn't bet correctly. And then in that case, I have no remorse. I'm not going to say the guy's name because I actually really like him, but that email might have been the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my life. But it goes back to say you're only as good as your last day. You can go out there and win 50 days in a row, and on day 51, if you lose, you suck. It's just the way that it is. So, positive though. All right, so this is going to be a lean at best just because we have not seen anyone play an NBA regular season game this year. But here's just my initial thoughts on a game right now. There will not be a premium play in the NBA tonight just because there's only 2 games. And I want to see these teams play, and not preseason. We have the dynamic duo in the NBA now of LeBron James, which everybody knows I'm not a fan of, but I never have taken away the fact that he is one of the best basketball players on the planet and no, undoubtedly one of the best to ever play the game. I would say that one, if not my favorite, definitely one of my favorite players in the league, Anthony Davis. I really wish Anthony Davis would have come back home to Chicago and been a Bull, but Anthony Davis is chasing a ring. We know that. He should be. He deserves it, and Chicago just doesn't have that to offer him at this time. So, the dynamic duo. This 1-2 punch is unstoppable. There is not another 1-2 punch that can stop it if they are 100% healthy. And there's a lot of big things going on this year. There's other things, there's things going on with the Clippers, with the Houston Rockets, with the 76ers. There's just so many things going on. Hell, with the Pelicans, the debut of Zion being an NBA player. All these teams, hush. Sorry. There's all these teams that are going to make noise, and I'm excited to watch it. But no team is going to stop a fully healthy 1-2 punch of Davis and James. I love Anthony Davis. I'm not a fan of LeBron. Certainly like him more than I do my arch nemesis, James Harden, the most overrated player that there ever was. But we'll get into that another day. I am not, and I mean, when I say I am not, that is an understatement. I am not a fan of Paul George. Do not like him at all. I think that he is a crybaby, slightly overrated, but a great player nonetheless, and definitely an asset to a team. And I'll be honest with you, with the way he moves, and even though he gets a lot of things called in his favor and he gets away with a lot of things, when he's not on the floor, it hurts you not just offensively but defensively. So I'm going to be honest with you. Even though we're going to have Leonard on the floor, he's still got to learn how to gel with that team a little bit. That little bit of first game anxiety. LA, the Lakers are going to have to do the same thing. But I think with George out, I think that now the slight offensive edge most certainly goes to the Lakers in game one. They already have home court because this is going to be a Lakers home game. And I think that no matter whether George plays or not, inside the paint, the Lakers had the ultimate edge with Braun and Davis because these are two guys that can stay outside, run the floor with anybody, shoot the threes, be the offensive threats. But these guys are grown-ass men. They'll get under there in the paint, bang the boards, and they'll out-rebound you, and they'll out-second-chance you in the paint. So they were going to have the edge there no matter what. Well, now I think that they've got the runaway defense edge as well as the slight offensive edge mixed in with the home court tonight, opening night, the start of what could be another dynasty. And I think those two guys are excited. And I think 3 points is fair. I think it's very accurate. In basketball, I don't give a 3-point home court advantage like I would in football. I say that it's worth 2 in the NBA. So that would mean that if we take that into consideration, the odds makers, if they're doing the same, that they're only favoring the Lakers by 1. I think that's very accurate if both teams were fully healthy. I truly think with George out that the Lakers should be 3 to 4 point favorites, with the 2 point also being added for home court. So we should be looking at 4 to 5. So I think getting in at 3 is great. I really do. Now, again, it's opening day. Anything can happen. That's why I'm not going to rate this a premium or a top play, but it's a lead nonetheless. I'll take a chance and lay 3 with the Lakers on opening night against their in-city rival. So I'm going to take Anthony Davis and LeBron James against a somewhat crippled for the moment Clippers team. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Lakers -3 as a lean. And it is a lean until we get to see what these teams do tonight. And then come game 2 for both these teams, we'll have a little bit of an idea of what we're working with or what we think we're going to work with for at least the first handful of games. And we can start rating these games premium and top plays and start killing the books with it. But I'll have some fun money on it nonetheless. So, guys, I love you. Sorry for the not the greatest of weekends, but congratulations to everyone that jumped on the college football game of the year, easy winner. And this week, I have not had a play of the week, play of the month, or play of the year in the NFL this year. I have not had anything more than a daily top play. There will be a huge step out top play in the NFL released no later than Thursday, as long as everything comes through the way that I think it's going to. And we're going to go out there and crush the biggest NFL game of the year thus far for me. So make sure that you're a part of it. Go jump on the basketball early bird or send me an email and see if you can be one of those 10 people that get it for the cheapest that you'll get anything anywhere. I love you guys. I will see you back tomorrow. Send me an email with the questions that you want me to answer. Let's get this Q&A thing going. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Chase Wins Live, the Sports Financial Hour, about 10:15 a.m. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.